Hey guys, welcome back to Ace Finance, and in today's video we're going to be taking a look at SEI as it has been pumping in the past few days. It's actually had a huge move against most of the altcoin market as it's been bleeding, but SEI has managed to move towards the upside along with Bitcoin, which is pretty surprising because you can see on the list here a lot of them are just red, whereas SEI happens to be green on the past 7 days. So I'm going to be talking about where we're going in some short-term movements as well as what I expect to happen with the altcoins because it's all tied together, and SEI here is giving us a blueprint as to what alts are going to do in the coming weeks, so it pays to pay attention. So diving right into it, back in April 7th over here we have SEI actually pumping 100% to the upside and then giving us about a 40% retrace to the downside. Now the notable thing about this coin is that it managed to make a higher high against the market, which is why I'm paying attention to it. A lot of coins haven't managed to do this, but SEI has, which means it's giving us an idea of what altcoins might do in the coming weeks. So that's why I'm watching this, to see how this acts so I can prepare to take advantage of the other altcoins that are going to be moving very similarly. I like what I'm seeing on SEI here on the larger time frame. I think we have a lot of space to move to the upside. You can see what I'm expecting here is a little bit of a pullback to about 23.11 and then a move towards the upside to fulfill this larger pattern. You guys can see on the daily we have a bit of a triangle, a descending triangle, and once we actually coil over here and manage to make this move in November, we potentially could see a break to the upside for a much larger move, about 200% to the upside, aiming to take that high out. Whether we get that or not is yet to be seen, but we're going to be playing this day by day, play by play, and seeing how much we can extract out of this coin because there's a lot of volatility, which is what we love as traders. Now, I'm not really playing this as an investment. I'm more looking at this as a trade, and I think it's got some sweet risk to reward that I can take advantage of, which is why we're trading it right now. So like I said, I think we're waiting for a little bit of a pullback. I'm even looking to short this actually. I just need a little bit of green because it gave me my first signal of breakdown. I love seeing this type of price action. It's showing weakness along with Bitcoin dropping, and I'll get to Bitcoin in just a little bit. But the thing you want to note with this coin is the strength it is demonstrating. So I always like to pay attention to coins that are showing a lot of strength, because while the market is bleeding, and we're going to go to total 3 here, I'm going to show you guys real quick what this looks like. This is total 3, which means it's the total market cap of altcoins excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum. And in fact, let's take a look at others because this excludes Bitcoin, Ethereum, and the top 10. And you can see it's in a downtrend. It's not doing anything near as bullish as SEI was just doing, except for this little pump here, but it's been pumping before this pump even happened. So let's go back to the chart and we can get a better idea, because what we're paying attention to here is the strength against the trend. And the trend here is down, but SEI doesn't care, which means there's something to learn from it. And what we're learning here is that altcoins might be setting up to do this similar move. Now I'm expecting one more low for altcoins before this move kind of takes place over here. A lot of coins have put this structure in, and now they're putting in this structure. SEI just happens to be ahead of the curve. And what we're looking at next is this type of move for altcoins, which a lot of people aren't expecting. They've been worn down, and I understand it's been a tough market, but these moves happen really fast and they're huge. It's about 100% to the upside with another 100% potentially loading over here, and more in the future as we break out of this pattern. So in the long term, I don't know if SEI is going to break all-time highs. There's no way of really knowing. It depends on whether it breaks the structure. We kind of have to play this play by play and see how this progresses as time goes on to get a better idea of how strong this coin actually is. I don't know the fundamentals. I'm solely going off the charts. So in the short term, to summarize, we've got to move down to about 23.11 on SEI, where we can long towards the upside to about 44 cents for another 100% gain. There's a short here. It's a bit trickier because there's a small window and you have to time it right. So that's a bit trickier to pull off. But overall, I do like SEI, not because of the coin itself, but because of the blueprint it's giving us. And the blueprint says altcoins are setting up for this move. So let's move on to Bitcoin. And I'm going to show you why I'm a little bearish now on SEI, is because Bitcoin is at a high price right now. The problem is we are creating lower highs, there you got one lower high, one lower high, one lower high. We have a low here, and then we have a lower low. So I don't particularly think right now that we're going to be breaking this low, because this is a pretty strong pump, but we could. And the low we should be watching out for Bitcoin is right there if things get really bad. That's on the bearish side. If we get bullish, I would expect us to simply fill in this area about 100 to 102K and then continue up, which would be very bullish for alts as well. So whether we see that or not is yet to be seen, but we are getting the dump now, which I expect to happen in the next few days as we tumble down here. It might take, a week or two. And depending on how aggressive this dump is, we might melt through or do what we typically do, which is move here, bounce up, and then move towards the downside. That's one scenario. The other one is we'll move towards the downside and then actually just shoot to all-time highs, which would be bullish for alts as well, like SEI. So that's something to keep in mind, because the altcoins, like I said, are setting up for this move. Because if we look at others, the downtrend here has been going on for quite some time, like we had on SEI. So the way you can visualize this is, this was the first move on SEI we saw, and then we had the correction. And the next move we're looking for is to target about 322 billion up there. And you can see I had two scenarios planned out here. One was the red one. We got the move down. We got the move up. We're going to get one more move down. Whether it takes out the lows, yet to be seen, or if it just comes down to double tap it, yet to be seen. I think we are going to get this bullish move towards the upside. We can change this trajectory now and look at it something like that. You can go higher. There you go. So this is going to be what I'm looking at for the altcoins as a whole. And that's why it pays to pay attention to these other altcoins to get an understanding of what other strong coins might do. Because a lot of these coins set up blueprints. It's not because of the coin itself. It could be a number of different reasons, but we don't really care about that. What we care about is the chart and the structure. And right now, like I said, it's a very bullish time to be in crypto. I'm excited because there's opportunities lining up. We just have to be a little bit patient to get these lows, and then we can bid on our favorite coins, because we are in the altcoin discount area. And once we get that last dip in there, I'm going to be fully loaded on alts. Just sit back and trade the opportunities that come my way, whether it's short or long. I think most of the time it's going to be long going forward, but there also are short opportunities along the way, as you can see with this volatility events happening here in this downtrend. So if you guys want more information like this, make sure to like, subscribe, follow my Twitter, and I will see you guys on the next video. I hope you enjoyed this one.